right, so we welcome you to our New York studios. Auburn against Oklahoma, the only ranked-on-ranked matchup in the SEC this week. It's also a quarterback reunion. Jackson Arnold going to play where he was last year, and John Mateer has done a little bit more than replace him, I'd say, Rick. What do you think?
The two played against each other in high school.
Also interesting.
Yeah.
Who won?
Don't know, but Jackson Arnold was the 5-star, right? And John Mateer was recruited to a small school and ended up at Washington State before heading with his coordinator, Ben Arbuckle, to Norman. He's been fantastic, and I'm going to lean towards Oklahoma because of Mateer and Arbuckle and that combination. But I think Jackson Arnold, as we look at Mateer here, I think Jackson Arnold will, because of his ability to run the ball, remember he went for over 100 yards against Baylor in the opening weekend. If they, and his running back is right there at the top of the heap in the SEC as a leading rusher, that combination makes Brent Venables have to stop the run. Has to. Which means there's going to be opening for play action, and that's where Jackson Arnold can have his revenge if there is to be one.
I think it's going to be very similar on both sides of the football because you watch Oklahoma, and when I was watching the South Alabama tape from last week, the RPO game that they were able to hit them with was wide open many, many times, very similar to what we saw in week 1 with that Auburn secondary. So they're going to be susceptible there. But this Auburn front seven, man, they are physical. And that defensive line, it is going to be a really big challenge for Oklahoma's offensive line up front. But again, watching South Alabama, those dudes brought it. That was a fair fight on multiple plays. Auburn certainly won the matchup, but there were plenty of cuts where South Alabama flat out got after them. Oklahoma's O-line has to come ready to play because that is going to be a grown man game in the line of scrimmage. We're going to watch Arnold. We're going to watch Mateer. We're going to watch tremendous skill in the backfield out on the perimeter. But the lines of scrimmage will determine it. The caveat here is Mateer has to protect the football. As fun as he is to watch, as many great plays as he makes, he does put the ball in jeopardy at times, and he cannot afford to do that against an Auburn team that can get on it and sit on it and will know what to do with it.
Line of scrimmage-wise, though, is Oklahoma getting a bigger challenge than they faced against the Michigan team?
I think so, yes, and significantly so. Michigan's front is not what they were a year ago. This is a big step up in class. It's their biggest test of the year.
This is going to be this quintessential SEC, slobber knocker. This is going to be fun to watch. And these quarterbacks, to AT's point, they're going to have to take care of the rock because they're going to get hit in the mouth, both of them. And they understand that. When you look at Auburn and that defense, the back end, they were problematic in that ball game versus Baylor. They wore them out. Stopping the run, that wasn't an issue. They're going to have to definitely stop the run. And now you got to cover all this speed that Oklahoma has returning. Deion Burks, the transfer from Purdue. You've got this Jaron Kanak, the guy who's a linebacker who's turned tight end, and he is one of Mateer's favorite targets. So they've got speed to burn. So when you corral him, now can we cover these guys? They're going to have to force Mateer into some mistakes and hold serve themselves, but definitely break this Oklahoma offense. And don't forget, our Mason Thomas or our Thomas Mason?
He's out.
He's out
the first half of this ball game. They're all everything edge guy. So can they hold on? Maybe they won't need to hold on, but can they weather the storm until he comes back in the second half? Interesting. That's what happened to Michigan when their best linebacker was out first half versus Oklahoma.
You're going to give Randy some meat on the bone here?
So with the history,
we got about 20 minutes, don't we?
That's right. We got plenty of time.
Exactly.
With the history of running back at Oklahoma, it is really strange to cut on the tape and not see a great running back.
Yeah.
You figured that there's a stable at Oklahoma. Well, if they are, they're not on the field. And their best running back is John Mateer. It's by scheme, and it's on purpose. And that, to me, is going to be a problem because you can't keep exposing your quarterback to those kind of hits. And Auburn is going to be more than happy to hand out some hits to John Mateer. Mateer is tough.
Yes.
Mateer, and like the point you made, Aaron, about taking care of the ball, he's got to take care of the ball because Auburn's very good at separating him from it.
All right, get official picks in a moment here, but let's check in to see what both head coaches had to say in their weekly press conferences.
I'm looking, to me, at a team that should be in the playoff discussions. They're that talented and that good. And it looks like just you're watching around, I think our league is very, very deep, and I think we're playing one of the better teams in it this Saturday, and that's probably going to be the case for the next few Saturdays, and that's why you come to Auburn. That's why you coach. That's why you play here.
Their offense looks like our defense, you know, from an efficiency and a cleanliness. You know, the things that you got to do to win, they've been able to do. It's a small sample size like us as well, but they're playing with a lot of confidence right now and getting better.
Okay, that looked like a push-off, but
Football, baby.
Arnold won the high school matchup. Who wins this one? BJ.
Oklahoma wins. His former school, they're going to win this ball game, I believe, because of their defense. And they have too much speed at the wide receiver position for this secondary. I don't think they fixed what ailed them in that first ball game versus Baylor.
Ricky?
Small margin. I'm going to lean to the home team. Mateer has kind of Manziel magic right now, and I'm going to ride that, but I won't be shocked if Auburn's right there at the end.
The thing that takes this over the top for me is Oklahoma's defense. They just don't give up a whole lot of points. When they do bend, they don't break. They play really good in the red zone. And I just think it's much easier as a quarterback to make mistakes on the road with crowd noise than it is to be the home team quarterback. So that, to me, is a little bit of a wash, but puts it over that I think Oklahoma gets a close win at home.
Yeah, I don't think this game's totally dissimilar, though I don't think there's going to be 85 points scored in it from what you saw last week with Georgia and Tennessee. Two really good offenses. I think a lot of huge plays. And I like Oklahoma, but go with the over. It's going to be that kind of a game. Lots of scoring.
All right, let's check out Oklahoma's schedule since our group here is advancing. The Sooners.
Woo! Man, those last five. Texas.
Catch their
Throw
breath.
out the records. That's a huge rivalry, and we'll see how that Texas offense is playing once they arrive there in the second week in October. But
Is that the corny dog game?
Tennessee. You corny dog, turkey leg.
You weren't one of those
fried
boo and
Twinkies.
Arch, were you?
Huh?
You weren't one of those
I would
boo and
never
Arch.
boo Arch. I don't boo players. I mean, unless they screw up my picks. But no. You don't boo Arch. Man, but that schedule.
Yeah.
Those last five.
Meaty.
Woo!
Meaty.
Duck.
It's the SEC.
That's the SEC.
You're scared by a dog.
Yeah. He's scared.
Any other thoughts on this one?
I think we've kind of
I feel like
unloaded
we
the
covered
gun.
it pretty well.
I think Brent Venables is off the hot seat conversation.
Oh, yeah.
There was lots of concern about that. But it's amazing if all of a sudden things go in the other direction, how fast you go back on. And the Michigan game was certainly a huge lift to his stature as the head coach there. He's got to have this one to keep that thing going. Otherwise, we're back in that conversation.
And a great sign for OU was last week, flying all the way up to Philadelphia, playing in a half-empty stadium there for Temple, against Temple, and they showed up and did what they needed to do, took care of business immediately.
All right, cool. Hit stop.
Bye.
Bye.
Get out.